Okay, so it is officially week 3 of the NFL season, and as you guys know, you know what that means. It's time for me to predict how each NFL game is going to go this week. However, there's a little disclaimer. So I'm actually recording this like early Monday morning, so before the 2 Monday night games for week 2, and it's because I'm gonna be way too busy tomorrow, and obviously Wednesday's when I'm posting the video. So I don't know what happened those Monday nights. Here are my predictions, how they went. I don't currently know how they are because I haven't even looked to see which ones I got correct. I only know the 3 I've got right, which is the Packers winning. But either way, I don't want to spend much time on it. We got week 3 to predict, and yeah, let's go. So the first game of the week, Thursday night football, the Dolphins at the Bills, and this is going to be an ugly game. And yeah, as you can tell, it's going to be a really ugly game. The Dolphins have not looked good this year. They had a chance last week to beat the Patriots after the kickoff return, but then they allowed a kickoff return touchdown right back, and then Tua couldn't do anything that final drive. And the Bills have looked dominant, especially on offense. So I think they'll probably blow them out. Like, it's not going to be 50-something to 0 because the Bills always love to pull their starters. So I could see Allen getting pulled in like the third quarter, but it'll be like 42-10. So our second matchup of the day is the Bengals at the Vikings, the first Sunday game of the day. And this will be interesting because obviously Burrow out for 3 months with turf toe. He has to get a surgery for it. So that means Jake Browning is most likely going to be the starter, unless I feel like they're going to maybe try to get Kirk Cousins. Who knows if they do or not. And the Vikings last week, they looked horrible. JJ McCarthy couldn't do literally a single thing to even attempt to beat the Falcons. However, I think at home they'll have a bounce back game. I think the Vikings will win it. It'll be a shootout though. It'll be 38-35. So our next matchup of the week is the Texans at the Jaguars. So this is a little bit hard for me to pick because obviously the Texans haven't played, but based off of seeing them off of week 1, that O-line has to block. But we're gonna already find some answers out the day I'm recording this. But either way, it doesn't even need me to see it. I think they're gonna beat the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars, they played good last week. They just had too much growing rookie mistakes. Brian Thomas Jr. looked bad this year. I regret drafting him in one of my fantasies because he looks scared out there. He doesn't want to run any slants in the middle of the field. And what Michael Irvin said, if you don't run your slants, you're going back to the hood. So I have the Texans sort of easily winning this one. I got them winning 28-35. So our next matchup is the Colts at the Titans. Who would have thought that the Colts would have been 2-0 to start the season and Danny Dimes would be playing amazing football? But here we are. And the Titans last week, they had I wouldn't say an amazing first half against the Rams, especially because I watched it, so I know. They had an amazing second quarter, but then everything fell through. Cam Ward made some good throws, but he still obviously is a rookie, and that one crossbody throw should have probably been intercepted. But I think that the Colts will go to 3-0. I feel like the Titans have a little bit too much growing pains still. They got really dominated that second half of the last week's game. They played an amazing second quarter though, but the first quarter they couldn't block. The second quarter they locked in, but then after that they couldn't block again. So I have the Colts winning this game 38-31. So our next game is the Raiders at Commanders, and once again it's gonna be sort of hard to judge because of how the Raiders haven't played yet. But I think it's going to be also interesting because the Commanders are going to be I don't know if they're not going to have Jane Daniels, but Jane Daniels is hurt. Okay, so I don't know if he's going to play yet or not. They haven't announced it. Obviously, not going to announce it this early. But last week, the Commanders' offense looked terrible, to say the least. They looked bad. While the Raiders, I don't know. The Raiders looked weird last week. Like week 1. They looked like, I don't know. Why is my hair over there? They looked weird. I don't know. I don't know who to pick. This is really a toss-up for me, but I think the Commanders should win this. I'm gonna say 25-20. So the next matchup is the Rams at the Eagles, and this game, it could either go one or two ways. I'm seeing this being either we blow them out or they blow us out. There's no that this will be a close game. I hope. Okay, but so last week the Rams, they had an amazing first quarter. The second quarter they fell apart, but after half they looked like a completely different team. They started running the ball more. They started giving it to Blake Corum, who I think this game could be a big indicator if he's gonna maybe potentially take over. You never know. But the Eagles, they looked beatable the last 2 weeks, which scares me because that means they're due for a good game. But also we're due for a good Kyron game. and verse is also like way overdue. So I don't know. I'm gonna do it. I think we're gonna beat the Eagles. Okay, I think that this game, I feel like we're gonna come out firing. We've had slow starts, especially last year and this year. Like, not even like in the beginning of the season. I mean, like in like starting off a game. But I feel like we're gonna beat them. Okay, the final score, I feel like we're gonna beat them 38-23. So the next matchup is the Falcons at the Panthers, and this is two really interesting teams. The Panthers, obviously last week they almost came back, but that final drive, I just don't understand why Dave Canales doesn't let Bryce Young even attempt to throw it deep. He just loves to make him throw checkdowns. And the Falcons, they looked good on defense last week. So I'm just gonna take the safe pick. I think the Falcons will beat the Panthers. I feel like this game, it's gonna be low scoring. It'll be like a 19-13 type game. So the next matchup is the Steelers at the Patriots. And so the Steelers last week, they had an amazing, not amazing, but they looked good to start the game off. But then that kickoff return blunder by Caleb Johnson just really ruined whatever momentum they had. And then the Patriots, they beat the Dolphins last week. They looked pretty good. So this is going to be honestly a pretty good game. But I'm going to pick the upset of the week. And I don't think it'll be really upset. But I think the Patriots will beat the Steelers. I think the Steelers will start to show their problems even more than they already have. I think the Patriots are starting to sort of click. They just need to give the ball more to fucking Travion Henderson. But I think the Steelers will win it. It's going to be a close game. I think they'll win it 24-20. So the next matchup of the week is the Packers at the Browns. And this game will not be close. I'm just going to be honest with you. The Browns got blown out last week, and they're going to probably get blown out again here. And yeah, there's really no what to say. This Packers defense is legit, while the Browns offense is not legit. I think the Packers are probably going to win this 35-10. So the next matchup is the Jets at the Buccaneers. So this is sort of, obviously, like I've been saying, I haven't seen the Monday Night Football games yet. So I don't know how the Bucs are going to look week 2. But the Jets just looked horrible. Week 1, they played amazing. I was like, okay, maybe that game against the Bills, it might have a shot. Who knows? But they did not have a shot. Justin Fields had like 70-something yards and got a concussion. So this is easily the Bucs. I think the Bucs will easily win this game, probably like 28-13. So the next matchup is the Broncos at the Chargers. And obviously, we haven't seen the Chargers play yet. But they look good week 1. Their offense looked good week 1. While the Broncos, they got upset by the Colts. I don't know. Everyone was talking about this offseason how their defense could be the best in the league, but they just got slashed by Daniel Jones, and their defense just hasn't looked good this year. So based off of that, I'm gonna pick the Chargers to win. I think the Chargers, it'll be one of those close, high-scoring games that the Chargers always love to be involved in. I feel like it'll be 42-38. So the next matchup is the Saints at the Seahawks. And as much as I want the Saints to win this game, because obviously division rivals, I never want division rivals to win a game, I think the Seahawks easily take care of them. However, I've said that about the last 2 matchups, and the Saints were literally one final drive away from tying or winning the game in both of those ones. So I think it's not going to be a blowout. It'll be a close game. I feel like Rattler will have a 3rd attempt and fell again. So I think the Seahawks would beat them 18-16. Okay, next matchup is the Cowboys at the Bears. And I don't know, the Cowboys, their defense, everyone knew it was going to be ass, but they didn't think it was going to be that ass to allow fucking Russell Wilson to throw for 400 yards 2025. Meanwhile, the Bears just sucked yesterday. Ever since that 3rd quarter of the Monday Night Football game, they have sucked. And I think they're going to continue to suck. I think the Cowboys are going to win this game. It'll be one of those games that's like 27-20, but it'll be mostly 27-13 for the entire game, where the Bears just score at the end. But yeah, I have the Cowboys winning 27-20. So the next matchup is an NFC West matchup. The Cardinals at the Niners. And this is sort of an interesting one, obviously. Last week, the Cardinals looked good to begin the game, then they almost choked it. While the Niners looked good with Mac Jones, but it was against the Saints. So who knows if it's the real deal or not. But the Niners always have the Cardinals numbers at home. So I'm just going to say I think the Niners will win this game 31-30. Okay, so for the Sunday night football game is the Chiefs at the Giants. And obviously the Chiefs are starting off 0-2 and the Giants are also 0-2, but they've looked, I don't know, the Chiefs offense has looked terrible. It's literally just Mahomes out there. That's why I said during my one of my old draft videos that they should just take a running back. They should at the very least took Scatterboo in like the 3rd round or something, but I don't know. I wanted them to get Trayvon Henderson. They obviously didn't, and it's gonna look like to bite them because Pacheco's ass, Kareem Hunt's ass. But either way, besides for the Giants, last week they have a game they probably should have won if they had a competent D coordinator, but they ended up losing in overtime. But they had the ball twice. Okay, so if you give a team 3 drives in overtime, you're most likely gonna lose the fucking game. But either way, I think the Chiefs should easily win this game. If they don't, their season is over. I'm just gonna say right now. And if, you know, additionally, if their season is over now, and if the Ravens or the Bills don't win the Super Bowl this year, they're never winning the Super Bowl. Okay, they're never winning it with this current core. If they can't capitalize off this Chiefs down here, I was gonna say Mahomes down here, but he's actually probably gonna have his statistically best season since like 2022. But either way, I think the Chiefs easily win this game. I'm gonna say 38-14. So the final game of the week, the Lions at the Ravens. This should be an interesting game. This is honestly, I don't know. This game, they can go one of 2 ways. It can either go, it's a shootout when the Lions win, or the Ravens are gonna blow them out. The Ravens are good last week. The only thing that scares me is Derrick Henry was not good a week ago, and he's already 2 weeks into the season has 2 fumbles already. That is not good. And the Lions, they look terrible week 1. Week 2, they look like their old selves. But heading into Baltimore, I don't want to bet against the Ravens, so I'm not. So I have the Ravens winning this one. I feel like it'll be a good game till like the 3rd quarter, then the Ravens have to pull away. So I think the Ravens will win this 44-20. So yeah, if you guys, so comment down below if you guys think your guys' favorite team is gonna win. Also, did they win last week? Let me know down below. And as always, thank you guys for watching this. I don't know how to end these things, but